Thanks for joining us tonight. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has ruled himself out as a candidate for U.S. Senate.
Instead, saying he's considering running for a third term as governor. Walz says, quote, "I love my job as governor, and right now I'm 100% focused on continuing our work together to make Minnesota the state in the country to live, work, and raise a family." Last Thursday, Walz's Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan announced she is a candidate for Senate. That seat became open when current Senator Tina Smith announced she would not be seeking re-election in 2026 to focus on her family. Other Democrats considering runs include U.S. Representatives Ilhan Omar and Angie Craig, Attorney General Keith Ellison, and Secretary of State Steve Simon. Republicans Royce White and Adam Schwarzy have said they are running. Other Republicans considering a run include retired sports broadcaster Michelle Tafoya, State Senators Karin Housley and Julia Coleman.